It's Jane from Living Skies Coloring Creative and Vintage, back again to continue doing some watercolor work on my in this book called Find Color by Gugeli. And yeah, I've got some watercolor work to get finished in here, and I hope you come on in and chat with me and let me know that you're here. So I'm just gonna try and get my channel up here so I can see the chat just over on this other device that I've got, and then I'll get doing some more watercolor painting on here. So 1 second. I don't know why my laptop keeps signing me out these days, but let me get this done. And I shouldn't have any problems after this, okay? Let's go, come on. And then I can see if there's anybody talking to me. Go me, there I am. There I am. So, okay. Just turn that sound off so we won't be having anything going over top. And I'm going to continue with this. So, if you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here before, I'm glad you could come and visit. And I'm working on this page in this beautiful coloring book using some of my watercolors. Now I have to make a confession that when I first looked at this page, I thought that this and this were stems from the water lily coming out. But I've since just looked at the art page that they give you in this book for a little bit of reference, and I discovered that it was a large moon that was kind of sinking in the water behind her. So quick change, which I am able to do, and there we go. Well, hey Fuzzy, how are you today? Glad you could come in and see me. And there is View, my boo. Well, hey there, girl. Did you hear me confess about my mistake in this book? Well, thanks, honey. And hey, that's good, Fuzzy. Glad that you are. It wasn't that big of a mistake. You obviously didn't hear it. So when I was thinking about doing this painting, I was explaining that I thought this circle and this circle were actually stems from the plant. And I've since looked at the picture and discovered that it's actually a large moon or something that's sinking into the water behind this. So I'm quickly kind of adjusting my approach on this picture. And you've been working on some new videos the past few days. Well, that's good, Fuzzy. Fuzzy meet View, View meet Fuzzy. So anyways, I'm sorry, I had to take a little sip there. That's what I'm doing right now, just to kind of enhance this feeling of this lighter ball. And I'm not too concerned with the little bit of blue that I have back there. I kind of like it. It kind of looks almost like a moon cratery surface. And View, Yes. Well, hi, Jesse. Nice to see you here. Thank you for coming by. Um, yeah. Anyways, I've been doing a little bit of work on this. Not too much. Just doing a few highlights on the plants, and now I'm trying to, like I said, trying to correct this, which is a mistake, but not really. You can always. It's my book, and I can do whatever I want. So there we go. I'm going to soften this line a little bit too over here. And you can see how easy that is to do with watercolor. And I'll soften it. And this book takes a lot of water. Yes, when I was going in to the corners and I was looking at, I actually looked at the artist drawing and realized like they had done this an entirely different palette. But then I realized that that was like a large light source almost behind this sprite. So I've been doing a little bit of experimenting in the leaves and down in the jar down here with some tonal shades, and I've got a little bit up in the hair that I'm going to continue with, but that's getting in some details with some watercolor. Hey Lori, nice to see you here. It is in a way. I don't understand how they managed to do a vase underwater, but I've decided that certain leaves are underwater and certain leaves are on top, and I'm going to try and highlight that. View, I was going to say that I'm thinking about just doing this entirely in watercolor. It's got such a big picture with so few really teeny tiny details that I might be able to do or achieve what I want to see in this picture just with watercolors and creating layers of color with those. Put a little more water on here, and then I'm going to take my cloth to it and see if I can erase a little bit of it. At least the hard line of it. And I'm not doing anything but really dabbing. And then I'll put some other color in here that'll make it blend up and out a little better, and no one will ever know. Yes, I would love to be doing it totally watercolor. Hi, Yolanda. Oh, come on, View. Devin, say hi to Jesse and say hi to, I think is Fuzzy still here? I'm not sure. But say hi, everybody, and please give me a thumbs up and share me out if you can. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get some of my live time up, and finding the right time of day without running into a lot of friends is very hard some days. Some days, not always on Sundays. But yeah, there was a few things happening this weekend that I could not participate in, but was able to catch glimpses of. Looked like a lot of fun in the snarky Valentine's there, Devon. Well, thanks, View. I'm hoping people are available to come in. View, thanks very much. Oh, well, isn't that great? I'm glad that mine popped up on your screen, View. In case you guys are wondering what I've got my little deviled egg plate palette over here with some watercolors in it. This one I just put a little bit more water in, and what I'll do is I'll take brushfuls of colors from my Kuretake Gansai Tambi set. And then I'll put it into the different wells over here as I need it. Sometimes I put just a little bit and I add it to another color, but it gets lots of fun. It is. And I think I got it for $1, Jesse. I think I got it for $1 at like Home Sense on their Easter clear out. So, and I kind of like all the little grooves in there because it catches some of the paint, and I can go and I can mix, you know, this blue in with this little bit of green sometimes, and just, you know, make an entirely different color, but using colors that are already in my picture, and it works. So, you know, there we go. Just another color of water. So there's one of my tips. The ephemera book. You're talking to Devin, okay. Yeah, it was, like I say, right after Easter, it was on sale at I'm in Canada, so it was called Home Sense, I believe, that I found it at. And that was a couple of years ago. You know, whatever works. If you've got something that works, then use it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel just to have a little well for paint to be in. So I'm still trying to draw the color across and over. Give it that look through feel, I guess, as you're looking through the water. Well, there you go, view. White fondue plates. Oh yeah, those would work too. So okay, so I'm just going to kind of come up here a little bit more with some more of this blue and try and feather it out. Now this I'm using my water brush. Sometimes I'll dip it into a jar of water that I've got here just so I have some water to play with. And then when I want to have the color a little more intense, I just pull it from the palette. Sometimes a water brush can get a little out of control, I guess you might say. Okay, I like how that's going along. Oh, cool. Cool, I'm glad you guys connected. That's great. Love that happens. And yeah, it's nice to recognize people from one platform to another. I tend to keep my name, so that kind of works. Sorry, I drift off in mid sentence. I'm still not good with trying to talk on lies and continuing to talk when I feel like I'm talking to myself. So there you go. Just get a little more blue in there. I'm going to pull a little bit more out of my tray. I just have to remind myself, oh yeah, that was the Prussian blue I used in there. So I just pulled a little bit of paint from that. I pulled a little bit of paint from my tray, and then with my water brush added water to make it more liquid. This was pretty much empty. And you can see all these dried wells. They're very easy to activate with just a little bit of water, so that's why they stay there. Okay, I think, yeah, this is what I want to see right here. Needs a little more. Let's see if I can blend that in. Here you go, I'm fixing a mistake, see? I'm just blending that line back in to this ripple. And because things dry lighter than they are in watercolors, that should come out pretty close to what I want. It'll blend in. There won't be a hard line in there anymore that was like right there. So you guys have fun getting acquainted. Another practice page. Why do you have to practice? You're doing great. I find the mythographic books are not all very friendly with water, that's for sure. Well, I'll try and leave mine a little while longer. I have been having so much fun in that new, well, it's not the new one, but new to me, the Spooky Creepy Cat one, the very first edition. And I've been doing a lot of coloring in there, that's for sure. Now this is water that's going that way. From this kimono, I believe that's underwater, so I'm just gonna accentuate that a little bit from that end. Hi, Chris. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't see your notification. Like I say, it's really hard trying to find a spot where you're not streaming over your friends, but I'll go back and rewatch it. I think that's coming out not too bad the way that's working. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little more. So in here, more color over some sections, just to give it a different look. A little bit here. And then tail that out a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna stream for, well, another 40 minutes, because I said I'd give myself an hour and then I'd have to go and get supper ready. So we have tomorrow off. Do you have tomorrow as a family day, Devin? Well, I guess you don't have to go to work or anything like that anymore anyway, so there you go. But yeah, tomorrow's a bit of a stat holiday for the Canadians in a lot of provinces. We have what's called Family Day. It gives everybody a bit of a break in the hardest part of what would be a very cold winter sometimes. Okay, yeah, hubby's home tomorrow. And then next weekend is Chinese New Year's. I'm going to see if I can get a friend of mine, get me some ephemera for that. Year of the horse. He's going to some kind of big dinner, so I hope he can. I need to make sure I'm getting some paint over here. So it's looking like I'm missing a big spot in the middle sometimes. There we go. That's better. Oh, okay, so not everybody gets to have the day off tomorrow. All right. Yeah, we don't. The only. I was going to say the only one that's like that in Canada is the Reconciliation Day that we have, Day of Reconciliation. But I think there's a lot of places other than the governments that might give those days off. I don't think everyone gets it though. Anyways, I'm just going to continue with a little bit of this. Now, I think I'm going to leave that background for a little bit because it's getting pretty wet and I want it to dry some before I add. Oops, that's just my under my desk. I've got a little bit up there. I'm going to darken up this blue just a touch with this little bit of purple. Okay, well thanks Devin. I'm glad you could come by and we'll see you probably see you tomorrow, I'm sure in the morning and maybe even at Janet's. So that's go see Dee Dee Willingham and go see Janet Merlion on their channels tomorrow that they'll be live. There, where was I? Oh yes. I was coming up here to give this just a little bit different color in here. More of a purple, oh yes. Because I think that could be part of this sash here. So we'll just leave that. And then I'll get a bit of blue. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. Like I say, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. So if I drift off, just pay me no mind. Talk amongst yourselves if necessary. But yeah, I'd love to, if you have any questions, just ask away. I'll do my best. I'm not a teacher. But I do know that I want to create some different layers of color in this drawing. So I'm just taking the colors I have on my palette and again they'll all dry a little bit lighter than what you see at the moment. And that's always interesting. Don't ever seem to be getting the same thing as what you're looking at when you're doing this, but it's definitely fun. I'll put that purple up in there because that's the ribbon underwater. There we go. That's looking a little better for me. Darken up there. So you can see I'm taking I'm just taking my paints to where I think, and adding extra layers of the color to where I think it should be darker, as in shadow. You can see I've done some of it here. Oop, that's a big piece of cat fuzz. And I'll try to put different layers of colors just to create that depth. That might be a little too dark, but that's okay. We can play with that yet. Got it up there. I want this ribbon to be purple anyways in the end, so we'll see how this rolls. Don't sweat the small stuff. You can always fix it later. Just want a little more paint in there. There we go. Just a little more right in there. I know I want that to be dark. We'll see how that goes. Creating a bit of an edge, trying to anyways. Same thing here. Need to put a little more green in there, I think. Because that's basically that body. I don't think the ribbon is sinking under there too much. So we're going to just take this and that. Everybody's being so quiet. I need, where'd my cloth go? There it is. Thank you, Chris. Oh, thank you, View. You know, you guys go ahead. Like I'm going to be on for a little while longer, and keep going. But I'm glad you guys could pop by when you can. Like, not everybody can show up all the time or at the same time. So that's just the way it is. But I'm glad you guys showed up when you did. There, that's a little bit softer. A little more of that color. Hey, Jesse. Matching and folding socks. Yeah, that's usually the last thing on my laundry list, but you know, they always fall the bottom anyways, right? So that's where you find them, at the bottom of the clothes basket. Once you get them unloaded. Get this in there again. Just deepen that purple just a touch. This is all in my head, how this is supposed to look, so, you know, forgive me. Okay, I think in here I want it dark, so I'm going to actually add some purple to the green and give it I had some green on my palette, kind of a medium green, and I've added some purple to it to create a darkness. That I can add to this little bit of underwater, and there's a little, there we go. A little bit of a ripple there, that helped. That helped. Add more darkness here. Again, you see I'm just using the paint that was on the brush, which had a lot of purple in it. Purple and green to make it a dark green. So I don't know if you were here earlier when I mentioned this, Chris, but I'm thinking that I might try and complete this particular picture in this book entirely in watercolor, because the spaces are so large, it doesn't have some teeny tiny details, that I may be able to just use watercolor and get the effect that I want. Maybe a little bit of gel pen highlights for some white, because white over other watercolors doesn't work very good usually. You know. So yeah, that's my plan for this picture. Is continue right now with as much watercolor as I can and see if that's going to satisfy me. So just trying to get some darker tones in on some of the leaves and buds here. Thank you, Chris. If I can, I will. Yes, matte acrylic is really nice on the big ones, but I had imagined this watery scape, so I think the watercolors lend itself to that a little bit. So just working in more color where I think I need it at the moment. This one is above, so I'm going to put a little more blue around the edges there. Kind of, there we go. And that'll kind of reflect the fact that that's also in a bit of a shadow of the leaf underneath here. Go. Like that. Come back up here with some more color, some more blue. Let's see here. Want something. Again, trying to cut those edges a little more. Go. And then I need a little bit of that purple. I can see right in here. I want some little bit of purple. Just need to fix up that edge a tiny bit there. There we go. Down in here, add a little more color. Try and keep my arm out of the way so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But there we go. That's working. I'm going to deepen some of this. And then I think I'm going to rinse out my brush and then do some work on the yellow and the orange. I've been mixing the greens and the blues and the purples around, so that's why I've worked mainly on them. There we go. Yeah, like that. Like that. I like how, I don't know how well you can see. Oh yeah, you might. How this green of the that I put in the underpainting of that over the purple really shows up on that. I like how that's blended into green and purple. Okay, clean off this brush. And then let's see what I can do with her hair and the rest of the gold in her kimono. Maybe a little gold in her fishy body too. So I've got a couple of reds and oranges in here I'm playing with. And just see what I can do in here. Not quite the same color as on that side, but that's, you know, more what I intended. And just trying to get some color pulled down. Give it a little bit of form. Continue down here. I should have music on instead of me humming all the time for you guys. I don't know how entertaining that is. There. Look down here. Just going to keep building up these colors, strengthening them a little bit. Like how that's working. Give a little more attention to the yellow in her kimono. Kimono, not kimona. There. Some of this color off a little bit. There we go. There. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate you doing that for me. I'm really trying to get those live hours up for myself. So that's my goal this year. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for leaving me running. And yeah, I'm gonna check out a few more videos here later tonight. I always like to leave a few running if I can. Chris, I gotta go and check out your video from earlier. Check your live out, run that. There. That's did better. Here. I want to strengthen that yellow actually under here too a bit. There. I think it helps to overlay that color. There we go, and pull that a little more. There's a kind of a shadow line there in the actual coloring page, but I've pulled it a little more. That's no problem. I think that's working just fine. Now you can see this is quite dry in here, and this leaf and her body are almost entirely the same color, so I'm going to intensify the leaf at the moment because I want her, this, if I have to put anything in there, I want to put in a little bit more of the gold. So I'm going to take this green that I had in the palette from before. Let's add a little more purple to that. There, I darkened that. Let's see if I can do a little bit there. Almost like some veining. Early on Saturday around 8 a.m. So that would be 7 a.m. and 2 or 3 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was thinking, is that this afternoons on Sunday sometimes is good for me too, because I have a chance to do things like that. All of my other stuff I've hopefully gotten done. But yeah. It's just the way it is, eh? There we go. Now you're a teacher, so you really can teach people some stuff, right? But you don't do, you're not so much an art teacher, if I recall. I'm just going to add some more of that yellowy orange color to her body here under the water. I like how that's kind of coming out. Put a little more there. There we go. Just to kind of define the difference between the green leaf underwater and her orangey, greeny body underwater. I'm tempted to do a little bit of iridescent paint on her yet. But that would be at the very end. Oh yes, that looks much better. Much better. So you'll change. Yeah, see, I don't. Here, I don't change in Saskatchewan. We don't change our times. Everybody else changes around us. So I'm just kind of like, well, you know, I'm just going to do what's best for me. It's really all you can do. But yeah, this is a good part of the afternoon. I've got a lot of stuff done. Depending on what I'm making for dinner, I either don't have to get started yet or it's already kind of cooking. You know, like slow cooker or that type of thing. Baking. Trying to do a little bit more for tail here. Mm-hmm. I'm liking this. I'm liking how it's turning out. I'm liking how I've fixed the moon and working on her hair in this undercolor. I need to go in and do the flower a little bit after this. But I think I'm going to leave that for another day because there's a lot of wet paper on here. And I really don't want to put my arm in it. I've only got about 10 minutes left before I said I'd start getting supper ready. So yeah, I like how that's coming out. Do a little bit more up here on her sleeve. Just wet that down just a touch. There we go. Now that needs to be darker. That shadow there needs to be darker. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a orangey tinge. That'll help. That'll help. Got a couple pieces here that I should have in purple, kind of like the drapes here. Just some of that same color there. It is coming along. I haven't done anything with her face other than put a base color in, but I think I'll do the face. I'll do the face when I do the flower probably at the same time because I want to get a few of those pinkier tones in there for her. I think I'm calling this spray to her. It looks like a her to me. Most, well, mermaids are hers, mermen are not. Well, hey, Husky, nice to see you. I'm actually just about getting ready to go off here. I gave myself an hour for today. I hope you come back and see me again or watch the replay. But yeah, I've been playing in my book. I got a few minutes left. Oh, there you are, View. Okay. I'm just about ready to get off, I was saying, so Got to go make some supper for myself and my son. Get that done. And come back and work on this with the flower and the face details a little more another day. Just trying to get a little bit of this. See, her body's in here, so just trying to put a little bit of that goldy color in the water. Instinct. I do these things by instinct. Okay, View, I will come and see you later tonight. Thank you, Chris, for coming by. Oh, nice, Husky. Pencil, brushes, everything. Okay, well, this is actually a coloring book that I'm doing this in. But it's got some beautiful, beautiful paper that really takes a lot of water. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I want to thank you all for coming, and I will be coming back another day to do a little more of this. I will be checking you out a little bit later tonight, View. I want to thank everybody for coming by. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I hope you come back again. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back and putting up with me and my silliness. So I appreciate you all. And I'll see you all around the stream. Please come back again, and so long. Give me that thumbs up. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye.